Hello, everyone.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm from the E Club in Central
Excellent.
and Southern Australia. Yeah. All right.
Excellent, excellent. We're asking everybody to rename themselves using the three dots in the upper right of your photo with your district and club name if you would like. Hi, Ina.
Hi, Teresa.
And Deb. We have to stop meeting like this.
My problem is I can't figure out how to rename myself on my iPad. Does anybody know?
Try on participants.
Found it.
Where was it? On the participants?
On participants, yes.
Excellent. Pam Bishop, glad to see you.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad you're prompt because we're scheduled for an hour 15, but we're going to try to do it in an hour. So we're going to get started in just a moment.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good evening. I'm
Good
Melly Wood.
Nice to meet you.
Zonta Club of Accra too.
That's fabulous. Hello, Governor Liz, with the pretty phone backing. Okay, I think because we have such a tight schedule, and as I said, we're trying to hold it to an hour instead of the full hour 15, we will actually get started. So I hope you have renamed yourself with your district and club name, and we are so glad that you are here for this 2024 President's Orientation. The recording will be available on demand afterwards. I am Teresa Harris. Myself and Ans Van Erp are delighted to support you today in your coming role as president. We want to help you feel ready, be effective, and to make your job as easy as possible. So congratulations. And we already know that you are very special because your club members have entrusted you with the care of the club. That means that you will keep the club viable, fun, and effective. So thank you for stepping up and promising to lead. Today's session will proceed swiftly. So if you have questions, please use chat, ask on Whova, or email either one of us after the session. So a while back, we took a survey of presidents, and we found that presidents seem to understand local aspects of Zonta, the importance of fundraising, preparing meeting agendas and holding their meetings. And thankfully, they also understand the importance of good Zonta spirit. We did find, not as well understood, was Zonta as a global organization, Zonta's mission and projects, district purpose, committees, the Zonta calendar, the Zonta website, and things like 16 days of activism and Zonta Rose Day, and campaigns, Zonta says no, Zonta says now, and add your voice. The good news is that after today, you will understand these even better. So let's look at your role as president. Basically, the president presides over the club and board meetings and appoints committee chairs. As president, you complete reports as requested, and it's a good idea to attend your district events. Now let's take a look at three things: communication, calendar, time of service. Communication is a big one. It is very important to keep up with email messages. Some presidents check email every day, and some every other day. Many have a dedicated email address just for Zonta business, and that helps keep them organized. Monthly leadership updates will come to you in your email from the Zonta International President, and they will guide you on the things to cover at your meetings. Please prioritize reading newsletters from your district and from international, and do follow Zonta on socials. Share, like, and comment. There's a quarterly magazine called The Zonchan. It's a keepsake. And the annual Zonta Foundation for Women annual report is nice to read as well. And the very newest way of communicating is the Zonta app. If you have not yet downloaded it, it's a free download wherever you get the apps for your phone, and we recommend it. So the next is the calendar. You may think it is this, but it is not. The Zonta calendar for club presidents looks more like this, and you can find it in the club manual. We'll be talking about this in a little while, so I won't go on anymore. The membership committee encourages clubs to use a year at a glance calendar to increase member engagement. Here, you can list your meeting dates and topics and special events by month, and you'll note that the first month is not January, it's June, and that's because the Zonta year is June through May. How about term of service? Well, every club might be just a little bit different, so it's vital that you check your club's bylaws. Presidents usually serve 1 to 2 years, but never more than 4. When I was president, I spent the first year figuring the job out, and the second year working on succession planning and giving my job away. So here are a few miscellaneous terms that people don't always tell you. It's clubs, not chapters. We induct new members and we install officers. It's the district conference and the international convention, and the biennium is 2 years starting after convention, and leadership cycles with the biennium. You might want to align your club with the biennium. So here's a big juicy apple for you. And this apple has 3 different parts: the skin, the flesh, and the seeds. But together, they are the same apple. Now, you wouldn't think about putting a tiger skin on that apple, right? It wouldn't be just right. So Zonta membership has 3 parts: club, district, and international. And membership, like an apple, wouldn't be the same without each of its parts. And they've got to work well together. No tiger skins. So now I'm going to turn it over to Ans, who will give us an overview on Zonta International. Take it away, Ans.
Thank you. So how is Zonta structured? As you can see, it's an hierarchical organizational structure, and it really helps to coordinate and streamline the efforts of Zonta, which allows the organization to do its job worldwide. I'll start at the top with the key components: the club members, of course, the Zonta members who belong to the club. As you can see, a club is a basic organizational unit of Zonta, and it is, of course, led by you, led by the club president. And together with the club board and the club committees function really as a club. Clubs together form an area, and this brings us to the area director, who is a key person for you. This is always your first port of call. Your area director will communicate with you, and you communicate with your area director. Areas together, of course, form part of a district. And as you know, you will have your district governor elect coming on board soon. And district governor together with the board and the committees coordinate the activities and the membership within that district. Then we go to the international level. That is the top level of the organization, where the Zonta International President, the Zonta International Board, and the committees oversee the global operations and the policies of the organization. You can also see there the Zonta Foundation for the Women. And as you can see, it's not connected to the structure, it's the fundraising arm, although it very much is supported and guided by the Zonta International President and the board. We'll come back to the Zonta Foundation a little bit later on. Of course, then we end up with the Zonta International Convention, where the decisions are made through a democratic process of voting with elections. Now, the Zonta governing documents. Of course, most of you may have heard about that, but this is really what we sometimes refer to as the Bible. It has a lot of information that is outlining how these organizations are governed. They serve really as the foundation of how Zonta is run, and it helps to ensure consistency, transparency, and accountability within the organization. Now, these documents are typically updated following convention after changes are approved. But let me just pause for a minute, because we have very many documents, but the most important that I wanted to draw to attention to this session is the bylaws. These are the fundamental rules that outline the structure and the leadership. The international rules of procedure are more detailed, and they give more specific instructions of how the organization should operate. And of course, we have the biennial goals. We'll talk about those a little bit later on. We also have resolutions and international leadership. But as I really want to draw the attention to you, these are really your go-to documents that help you to become a really good club president. The Zonta mission and the Zonta vision, I'd like for you to think that you already know them, but it is important to highlight them again. The mission is really outlining a statement, I should say, that tells us what we do now. The mission is at the moment, as you can see, it's building a better world for women and girls. Now, how does that differ from the vision? The vision is more an aspirational statement that talks about what the organization wants to achieve in the future. Of course, for us, it is a world where women have access to the resources and are represented in decision-making positions. So again, mission is what we do now. Vision is this aspirational statement. Now, this is we have to probably draw attention to this one here, because it's really important that club presidents make sure that the logos that are going to be used for their club have the current tagline, building a better world for women and girls. If you don't, make sure that you change that from empowering women through service and advocacy. And Teresa, will you explain briefly how they can fix the logo?
Certainly, consult the brand guide. The tagline is in there, and you just simply attach it. Anybody who knows how to alter it, and if you get really, really stuck, there are people who can help you. But it's hard to change our roll-up banners and such, but the digital, very easy to change.
Thank you. Biennial goals. Biennial goals, you probably will hear them, know them, and really use them. It's really important to remember them, because Zonta International has the biennial goals, but of course, as club president, you will use those biennial goals to work with those goals and operationalize them at your club level. The first goal, credible and visible voice. Clearly, I think we by now know the importance of visibility and raising awareness about education equality and climate justice and ending gender-based violence and ensuring women are represented equally in decision-making positions. So credible and visible is your first goal as a club. Club success, oh, I love that word, club success, because it really is a responsibility not only of the president, but of all the members of the club to create a very welcoming environment, to create an inspiring environment, and to make sure that members want to go to the club meetings because they know that they're going to work together to build a better world. So club success is also a responsibility of the whole club. The third goal is international leadership and sustainability. Now, Zonta leadership has taken it upon itself to manage our resources, but also to work on the long-term viability of this organization. And in the next biennium, we'll see a lot of that, modernizing itself to enable very effective decision-making. The fourth goal focuses on ways in which we can develop collaborations with like-minded organizations and build revenue so that we can further our mission. So remind yourself and your clubs of these 4 goals and make sure that in your own club level, you actually look at these goals and identify how you at that club level will realize these biennial goals. I mentioned earlier that I was going to come back to the Zonta International Foundation. Now, the Zonta International Foundation, Zonta Foundation for Women, is the fundraising arm, as I mentioned. And it's important to know that the Zonta Foundation has 3 very different funds. And I'm just going to touch on each of them. We've got the International Service Fund, the Education Funds, and the Special Funds. The next slide shows what the purpose is of the foundation. So the foundation receives the money from the clubs, as you know, and we will talk about that in a moment, about the importance of clubs giving 1/3 of the funds that they raise to the foundation, because the foundation uses these funds for international projects, for education projects, and special funds. The next slide shows you the 4 biennial projects that we have worked on this biennium. And some of this, of course, will change after convention. Some of it will remain the same. But the point is that we have an international service fund that raises funds specifically for these 4 projects. ending child marriage, and you can see there are projects in Peru, Madagascar, and of course, ending global gender-based violence. Education funds. You probably also are familiar with education funds, but it's important that we highlight the education funds, the Amelia Earhart Fellowship, the Jane Klausman, the Young Women in Public Affairs. So these three are the education funds. The last one, the next one, the Rose Fund, is what we call a special fund. You may remember on that foundation, we had the special funds, we have education funds and international projects. This one here, the Rose Fund, is a very important one as a special fund, because if we do not have enough money in any of the education funds or in the scholarship funds, we can use the fund, the Rose Fund, to top up. And in my experience, many clubs actually, when they donate money to the Zonta Foundation, they nominate the Rose Fund because they know that that is a fund that can be used to top up other funds if there is a shortfall. Mm-hmm. The other special funds that we haven't mentioned here, but I just want to mention them, I haven't got the slide of them, are the endowment funds. Now, endowment funds, the Amelia Earhart Endowment Fund, and the Rose and the endowment fund itself are funds that are used by the clubs or by Zonta International, and but clubs donate money in those funds. Only the principal is not used, but the interest that is made from that endowment fund is used. So it's actually a fund that works quite well in that sense. See here, what's depicted here is the enormous amount of conversation and dialogue that happens with club presidents. There's the treasurers, there's the boards, there's the committees, there's the areas. But as you can see, all of these conversations, who is the leader? It's the president, is the team leader in all of these things. We'll come back to this slide a little bit later on, because you can also imagine when you have so many dialogues happening, there could also be some challenges associated with that. We'll come back. Okay. What's the purpose of the clubs? Look at these 7 circles. You probably already know them, but I think it is so important to draw attention to this. The purpose of the clubs is, of course, service. As you know, we have a lot of the clubs have service projects. A lot of the clubs have service hands-on activities, and that is the purpose, one of the purposes of the clubs, but also to raise funds through various ways. In fact, we have seen quite creative ways in clubs. Zonta e-clubs, for example, have raised funds. I remember a third to the Foundation for Women. Another purpose of the clubs is to educate, inform, and advocate. And advocacy, as incoming President Salah has already highlighted, which for some of you, it's a core activity of clubs. So spend time at the beginning of the year planning your advocacy activities. Make sure you educate the community, educate your club, inform the community, inform your club. Another responsibility of the club is to increase the membership. It's not the role of the membership committee only. It's the role of everybody to bring a club member. We have the campaigns to support you, but we also want every club, when you join an organization, to think that your responsibility is also to bring in other members, because only together we can share the load and make it doable. Networks, the 3 bottom circles are really also underpinning club success. Networking and supporting each other. Appreciation of members. Thank you. Say thank you to members who do a great job behind the scenes. We also have, of course, the fact that we have members who've been in a club for many, many years, showing appreciation for the work that they do, for their lengthy memberships. It's really important that we show that. Think of ways in which you can, as a club president, appreciate your members, show appreciation of members. And of course, have fun. Most of us have meetings at the end of the day. You want to make sure that the clubs really create an opportunity for members to come together and spend time, but also working, but also having fun.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Thank you, Ans. Now we're going to take a look at the Zonta International website. If you have your cell phone handy, you might want to take a picture of this. We are going to talk about each of these things, but the most important thing that I can say to you today, and your very first homework item, is be sure that you can sign on to the Zonta International website. When you are logged into your YouTube account, you can specify your preferred language, and when you click the CC, you get the subtitles or closed captions. It is vital that you know how to log into the website. You can change the website into the language of your choice. Look at that. Now it's in Arabic. So when you go to log in, you sign in at the top of the page. It will prompt you for your username and password. If you don't know your username, I will tell you it is the email you have on record with Zonta. If you don't know your password, just click Forgot Password. Or if it's the first time you're ever doing it, you click Forgot Password and it will be emailed to you right away. The link will be valid for 20 minutes only. So once you sign in, you'll see hi and your name will appear there. When you click this area, it will take you to a place where you can change your picture. You'll see your name there. You can edit your own profile right here. And this is the Manage the Club button. It is only available to presidents and treasurers. So it is your job as president to make sure that your treasurer knows how to do that. You can also edit things for your club, where you meet, what you focus on, etc. So when you click Manage Club, you have an opportunity to do a few special things. Right now, credentialing is there. That's not normally there, but we're getting ready for convention. Your club membership list is there. You will be responsible for filling out the club officer form at the end of each year that you are president. Your district, your area, your club number. Ooh, you don't know your club number? Let me show you how you get it. Your club number appears right on your Manage My Club page. You can fill in club contact information. So if your club is in a big city, but the president lives in a small town, unless you change this here, when people search for the big city, they aren't going to find it. They're only going to find your small town. You can access your club member list here. Manage your club members' information. When you scroll down, you'll see the club contacts. I'd like to use this show all 51 or however many are in your club, and then you can export it. When you export it, you can see everybody's name, address, phone number, email. It's very handy to have. Your membership chair does not have access to this, so it is vital that you or your treasurer provide this to your club membership chair. Now, very important, you must hit save so your changes are retained. So everything you always wanted to know about managing your club and paying dues can be found on this form called Managing Your Club Online. You can find it very easily right here. Okay, when you click the logo, it takes you back to the home page. What do you find on here? Well, if you scroll through these, you can see all the drop downs. The first several of them are for anybody who comes to the website. My Zonta is for members only. Under My Zonta, you can see tools and forms and governance. Under My Zonta, you have everything that you will need. Under governance, you can see manuals. And very important is your club manual. You can open it up and flip through the pages, sort of like a book. If you don't want to keep logging in, you can also click the download button and download it. It is also searchable. So let's say I wanted to search service. Everywhere that the word service appears in the book is there. Also located in the club manual is a sample club calendar, and this shows the month, the action, and the suggested person to perform the action. Each club should mentor the next generation in a Z club, which is high school or golden Z, and this document will tell you everything you need to know about it. So I'm going to go back to governance. Every 2 years after an international convention is held, the governing documents booklet is updated. That is the ideal time to update your club bylaws. I remember when we first said, hey, men can join Zonta too. That was a big change in governing documents.
They are so important that a physical copy will actually be sent to you when they are updated.
These are the rules of procedures for Zonta International. You might want to have rules and procedures for your club. You definitely want to have bylaws. And these are found under forms, my Zonta forms. You will find a lot of good things under forms and tools. When you're making a new club, and each of us should be working on building membership, making additional clubs, there's going to be coming soon some pages on how to create a club. And what's nice about that is many of the principles that are effective in making a new club are also very good for supporting an existing club. Under forms, these are alphabetical order, is the link to share your story. This is something we hope your clubs will use frequently. You put your name, your address, your club, and what went on. It'll prompt you, and you can even upload a photo. And if you want to see what was going on in the world, you can click here for local service and advocacy around the world and see other people's stories that were shared. And if you say, wow, that's a very tiny picture, be happy to know that you can make it bigger and read all about it. So now going back to my Zonta forms, you select club bylaws, click that, it'll download to your computer, and then you can open it up and you remove this first page and you put your logo in there and you just adjust this as needed. And then every 2 years, this gets updated. You put the date it was adopted, and then it can live on your club website. So let me slide back to my Zonta, and this time we will use tools. You will find a whole section on club tools. I particularly like to recognize people who have been in the club for a while. So there's a certificate. You get to fill it out. Your membership chair can do this. Let's go to events. A couple things you should know about news and events. When you click on the menu, the drop-down comes out, and then you click on events again. Every time you have a new member, tell them to look for the new member webinar. It's held every other month at 2 times a day, and it is about 50 minutes long, and it gives them an overview of the history and the programs that we support. It makes them feel welcome. If there's different events, it's very easy to connect to them here. Once a month, there's a think tank on gender equal climate action. Those are fun to participate in. The time changes each month to make it fair for people around the world. So you want to check back into this news and events now and again. We have a Zonta International newsletter. Each of you should be receiving it as a member, but when you are the president, you really need to see what's going on. It comes to you in the email. If you misplace it, it's easy to find right here.
Next, we'll go to Leadership Access under My Zonta. Here you'll find a section devoted to club presidents. It has a lot of what's happening right now in one place for you to make your job easy. You can even get to share your story from here. There are many presidential tools. Even the club manual is there. And the monthly leadership update that come to you in your email every month from the Zonta International President are stored here. These tell you what to cover each month at your meetings and in your communication with your club. I'm going to take you back to tools just for a moment to see leadership development tools. Let's look at core competencies.
If you hit the button that says PDF, that will take you to a color-coded group of resources.
The colors correspond to the related material in the document below. Each section is full of links that will take you to related material, all conveniently located in one spot. Find information for your club members, for your board members, for your committee chairs, and the yellow is for presidents. Silver is for treasurers. Last but not least, Zonta Foundation for Women. You will find it very easy to make your annual club donation or even a personal donation when you click your support and donate now. This concludes our website tour.
Now, this video can be viewed again at this link if you want to take a picture of it for now. When you open a video like this in YouTube, you can adjust the captions to be automatically translated into your preferred language. So you might want to have some fun experimenting with that. And now we're going to go back to Ans for a closer look at clubs.
Yes. I mean, this couldn't have been a better introduction to the website is really your first protocol. And as you have seen, there's a lot of information there. Now, what you may remember from the previous ones that we talked about, we used words like club success, and we use club, and we would ask for education, information, and advocacy. Now, one of the things is indeed about going back to your club and share what you have heard today with your club so that they too become educated and informed. Okay, the goal. I really love this. Happy club life it really is the Zonta spirit. It is a club success. All of this connected. The four components that really underpin the goal of the club of a happy club life is to have a common purpose. We all join Zonta for a common purpose. Find out what that common purpose is and talk about why you actually joined Zonta. The other component, of course, is fun and fellowship. As I have said before, everybody that goes to a club meeting, whether it's a virtual meeting or whether it's a meeting and face-to-face in-person one, it has to be about fellowship. Most of the club members that I talk to talk about how they have enjoyed being in Zonta because they work for common causes, but also they have developed great fellowship. Know your members. No, not only just having 5 seconds at the beginning of a meeting about, membership news and updates, but also really get to know your members, know their skills, know their talents. And for example, when it comes down to asking members to step up, make sure that you align their skills and talents and give them that support so that you can see them grow as a club member. Mutual respect. We will have, and we'll come back to that in a moment, we will have different perspectives and different opinions and different ideas about how the club could conduct its business. But if it is founded on having respect for each other and having respectful conversations and having an appreciation for each other, if you have these 4 goals in place, a happy club life is what will be the result. Lots of conversations. We have already drawn attention to this scenario here with so many lines of communications and so many different ways in which we conduct our business. There is going to be occasionally that time where you come across people having different perspectives, people having different ideas, people having different opinions. As a club president, it is your responsibility to help to actually work together and resolve some of these. This is not about conflict. This is about understanding that it is important to work together to find a way forward. It is when you have the word conflict, it often sounds very argumentative and fighting. But if you actually look at it from, this is just somebody who has their own perspective, their own opinion, and it is about working a way to work through that, you will find that it is done in a spirit, as we have referred to as the Zonta spirit, a positive way in which we can go forward. Goal 1, credible and visible. And I'm reminded of importance of being visible, particularly twice a year, where we have the Orange the World during the 16 days of activism. Again, those calendars that you are going to put together will obviously start with the 25th of November till the 10th of December for the 16 days of activism. It's something that almost every club that I know has that in the calendar and actually does something about that during the 16 days of activism. The other day, which should also in your calendar, which is also an opportunity to be credible and visible, is of course the 8th of March, International Women's Day. What do we focus on? There are 4 components. The first one is, of course, violence against women and girls. Again, this is something that all clubs really already have as part of their core business. What is it that you do at that local level? What is it that you do at that area level, district level? It is about ending child and forced marriage, gender-based or domestic violence. And of course, we also have these days the cyber violence, the digital violence. Another focus of Zonta is women in leadership. Whether that will be in your workplace or whether that will be at government level, it is about getting women in decision-making position and having that empowerment there. Climate justice. This is, of course, for Zonta International and at club levels, a relatively new component. Previously, we have focused on women and girls issues, and perhaps we have not necessarily made a connection between climate justice and women and girls. There are so many opportunities within Zonta to inform yourself and your club what climate justice actually means. We have just seen that there are working parties now, there are committees now, there are opportunities for you to find out more about how climate justice can be achieved. Because we all know that in most parts of the world where women and girls really are doing it tough because of child marriage and other challenges, climate is affecting those countries and those women and girls so much harder than in the developed world. So inform yourself about climate justice, gender equity, that underpins everything that we do. It is about creating an equal world for women and men. And it's not going to happen unless there is some focus put on it. And together with your club, also remind yourself when you develop your club calendar, have activities and have ideas about how club focus can be on gender equity in your community.
Okay, here's one of those opportunities for your screenshot or cell phone picture. These are things that good clubs have, and you'll note that they range from bylaws to meetings. So next, let's talk about meetings. Good meetings keep people coming back and even bringing guests. We're going to invite you to watch a little video of a meeting and take a look and see if you notice anything that may have gone wrong. And when it finishes, please put one observation in the chat. And by the way, I'm not going to YouTube right now for this. I'll give you the link for this. But if I did, I could translate it into any language.
Well, President Paula isn't here, so we can't start.
Okay, but you're the vice president. We should have started 5 minutes ago.
See if I ever try to step up again.
Sorry, my guys. Welcome to the Zonta meeting. Let's get this party started. Oh, I forgot my computer. I've got the plan. It's in here somewhere.
President Paula, I brought a guest with me.
Guest night is next month. Let's have some snacks.
How about we organize your papers a little bit first?
We could do that. Oh, my agenda. Thank you. I found it. Well, who remembers why we're here today?
We're here to save the planet, end inequality, and clean up after last week's big sale.
Big sale was last month, Gail. Okay. President Paul wants to talk about today's meeting.
We're supposed to have an icebreaker, so why don't we go around and talk about our favorite color?
Favorite color, it's time for snacks.
There's no time for snacks.
The agenda clearly says snacks. President Paul wants to discuss our next project.
Oh, our next project. How about we save the whales?
Saving the whales? I thought we were building a better world for women and girls.
But there are female whales.
Is this how this was supposed to go?
This is hopeless.
Ridiculous. I'm not coming back.
Me either.
I move to postpone the meeting.
I second. The road to leadership is such a lonely journey.
Okay. You can either put it in the chat, one thing that you saw, or if you'd like to unmute and just call out, raise your hand if you saw something. Did anybody see that the president wasn't there on time and appeared disorganized? What about that project? Did it align with our mission, saving the whales? Even if there are female whales, projects need to align with our mission. Anybody else notice anything else?
Wasn't there a guest there that wasn't recognized because it was the
Thank
wrong
you.
time?
Yes, she said she was so excited, newbie Nancy, to say she brought a guest. And the president just shut her right down, said it's not guest night. Guest night is next month. Every meeting is guest meeting. That was a good observation. Anybody else? Okay, we're going to move on. Speed of the leader, speed of the pack. If the leader is organized and moving right along and right on point, the group will follow. So you want to be organized, have a vision, involve others, think outside of the box, be open to new ideas, use tools, and ask for help. And yes, we are all volunteers, and it's always guest night. So here's some traps to avoid. Let's see if you recognize any of these. As a president, do you fall into the you have to do everything trap? Not getting everybody on board trap? Zonta info is just for you. You don't want to share it with anybody. Reporting is optional. And if you get drawn into issues, losing sight of the big picture and using the do it my way or the highway approach, these are traps that you wish to avoid. Now, how do you get people to help? Part of having club engagement and having others take a role in the club is with committees. Committees, it's a good place to get to know each other too. And I'm going to use the International Membership Committee as an example. So ZI has a committee that talks to the 32 district committee chairs, those are the lieutenant governors, and they in turn speak to the club membership committee chairs. So the communication goes down, but it also goes up. And this is obviously just a little fraction of our 32 districts, but I didn't have space to put them all on the slide. So how do you get people to want to work on a committee? You want to be sure it's fun and fulfilling. The most common excuse that you will hear is, I don't know enough. So don't ask that question, do you want to lead the committee or be on the committee? Instead, ask, what topic would you like to learn more about? And they readily sign up for that. Then you can collect the sheet back and take a look, and you'll decide who you wish to chair each of the committees. You'll talk to them and your board will approve it. There's a great helper for your committees too. This little form, once you select your committee chair, this is a great way to support her. You list the committee and you list who she reports to. That's the person with the corresponding committee on the district level. And perhaps you've established a goal that you would like to see happen in the club. So you've got a spot for the name of your chairperson. This is obviously a little bit old, and the email, and then the members who are going to work on the committee. You've got to have at least 2 or 3, right? No committees of 1, and put the emails right there so it's easy for her to get started and assemble her group. And then she and her group can identify a few goals for the coming year or biennium. At your meetings, you want to talk about recognition. Ansmarie mentioned appreciation. You cannot do it too much. And here are some things that you can recognize every month at your meetings that will help get everybody into the limelight for a minute. I mean, everybody has a birthday and everybody has a join date. When you export the club information, you can see the join date. And so you can recognize who, maybe it's the month of May, right? So they walk into the meeting and they see everybody who has a birthday in the month of May and everyone who's celebrating a Zonta anniversary and how many years they have. How about recognizing anybody who brings a guest? And always have your committee chairs come up front. Let them tell what they're working on. Give them praise in front of everybody. If you had a program and some of the club members participated in it, applaud them too. Give them recognition by name. And certainly anybody who sponsors a new member or introduces a new member to Zonta, that is somebody to praise. So you want to express appreciation for ideas and actions and recognize every action that you want to have repeated. Always remember to praise publicly and specifically, and then criticize privately. And now it's time for a commercial break. Would you like more good meeting ideas? Well, next week, next Thursday, you're welcome to attend the virtual membership workshop on the 23rd of May at 5 p.m. And now we are going to go on with Ans speaking about Zonta spirit and navigating differences. Ans-Marie, take it away.
Thank you. Thank you. We have already seen and heard throughout this biennium much about the Zonta spirit. And the Zonta spirit is also about how to bring back this club success, club fun, but also navigating differences. And this is really worthwhile pausing for a minute here because, as I mentioned before, we are going to, during your biennium, you may experience that there are going to be some differences between the members' ideas, their perspectives, their priorities. And as president, you will often find yourself how to navigate through these differences successfully. We've already said that the president is the team leader in all things. So how do you potentially navigate the differences between, for example, the committees and the chairs and the boards and the club members? The next slide is a very simple way in which I have often looked at these things. It spells out love. And there is a reason why it actually spells out love, because we're going to start with listening. The L stands for listening. I've got a big ear there. And this is to remind us to, as a president, to listen actively, to actually give full attention to the other person and genuinely listen to what troubles them. Mm-hmm. So when they're speaking, you listen. Don't try and interrupt and formulate a counter argument. Listen, listen, listen. The next is the O. The O stands for opening up communication. Again, it is about creating an environment whereby you can be frank with each other, but also to allow the other person to express themselves honestly and openly. So the L for listening, the O for opening up. What does the V stand for? The V is for validating emotions, because everybody that has perhaps shown some disagreement or disagreement will have some emotions. It could be because they're very passionate about their idea. So recognize and validate the emotions, because they play often a very important role. And by acknowledging the emotions and say, I understand why you feel upset, I understand why you are so passionate, just validating those emotions creates this opportunity to already begin to navigate through the differences. And the E, beautiful E, stands for exploring solutions together, because it's really only through collaboration and finding out where there's that common ground so that you can find out how and brainstorm together how to get creative solutions. And often it is also about making concessions to reach that outcome. So please remind yourself when you are finding yourselves, it's not about conflict, it's really about people's concerns that are incompatible. And by listening, opening up, validating emotions and exploring solutions together, you can navigate through the differences and create this harmony in the club and have this successful collaboration in your club. Chain of communication. I think you may remember from when we talked about the structure that the area director is your first point of contact. So who do you talk to? Your area director. Your area director also is your communication, provides that communication to you, but also you are, for example, if you're needing advice, some support, some direction, some information, you talk to your area director. In terms of avoiding gossip, I think it's never really nice to talk about somebody else, particularly if they're not there. to defend themselves. So avoid gossip and make sure that you as the club president avoid it. And if you identify that there is some gossip there, just make sure that you manage that successfully. How? The best way is to say, look, we are only going to work with facts. We're not going to listen to hearsay. It's not productive and it doesn't help club success.
Good. I used to say, don't say anything to anybody that you wouldn't want printed on the front page of your local newspaper attributed to you.
Yeah. Now, this is an important slide, disbanding, because while I am the chief club creator and I have seen many clubs formed, we've also seen clubs disband. If the club is thinking about disbanding, it is important that they talk about the area director and don't leave it till already the club has made a decision. This is about when there are some signs in the club that things are not going as well, then that's the time to ring the bell, to actually advise the area director, not so much to say we're going to disband, but it is about that you have noticed that there are some things that can probably benefit from some guidance and some directions. So therefore it is about talking to the area director, talking to member records, talking to membership about that. Now, practically, if of course the club has decided and together with the area director, it has been determined that the club is disbanded, we have the 2 months notice. Now I'm going to talk about the CPR. I'm going to refer to Teresa here. Teresa, when we say apply CPR, what do we mean? This is an expression that perhaps is not necessarily understood in all the languages. What do we mean?
I'm sure it's not. If you're in English, it's a resuscitation action, but it actually stands for Club Productivity Results. And we have a document online that just simply gives you some things to check on that helps improve club viability. And that's just a good checklist to go down and help revive your club, get it going again. So that's what that is.
Thank you. Thank you. And of course, knowing your options. Again, this is not something that you will be able to resolve by yourself. It is about finding out that there are so many ways in which you can reinvigorate the club. And there are manuals, but also there are actually people with expertise that can guide. And we have seen that. We have seen that in recent times, where clubs that were really thinking about disbanding suddenly got the spirit and the uplift again and continue to grow and begin to thrive.
Absolutely. And the most important thing is to know that you're never alone. I mean, your area director is certainly going to be a wonderful help to you, but all the way up to Zonta International, nobody wants a club to have to disband. It just usually needs just a restocking and a little revitalization. And it is possible. We give it our best effort. We give it a year to see how we can progress and then make a decision. But that's not a decision to take lightly. And there are options. So if you ever find yourself in that position, speak to your area director, yes, but also alert member records so that they can put you in touch with people who will help you. And that brings us to questions. And
yes, so please unmute yourself or put your hand up.
and hands.
Yeah, we got that little icon there.
Yes, yes. And also, can we check the chat, see what we have going on? I'm going to start at the back. Thank you very much. Lots of material. So you'll be able to see this again on demand.
Question there about the membership workshop on the 23rd of May. Did you want to answer that question? Because they are asking, how do we get into that?
It's right on Whova app. So it'll come right up as one of the virtual sessions. And anybody who's registered for convention, virtual or in person, is welcome to attend.
Yeah. And I can see Deb has her hand up.
Good time of the day, wherever you are in the world. We have just established the first e-club in Australia that is statewide. So thank you. So we have some unique challenges of how to have fellowship and to create connection. And we're very focused on succeeding at that challenge. I'm curious, though, who might be our area director, and I don't suspect that you would have an answer, but we kind of sit under district and have members from all over the state.
Sure,
I
that's
mean,
a very good question. You'll be happy to know that every club lives in some area. So your governor will know. And that's that's an easy question to find out. We don't know it ourselves, but that is I didn't assume that people might not know, but it's changing now with the biennium. After a convention, it'll be a whole new area director going forward usually. So check with your governor. If you have a sponsoring club, your sponsoring club would also know. And if all else fails, member records knows. So
okay, lovely. Thank you.
thank you, Deb. Anybody else have a question?
Teresa, there's a question in the Q&A from Beth Ryan. It says, is the committee form in the club manual?
It used to be. I'm not sure if it is currently, Shannon, but we can maybe slip it in there. And also a screenshot of it. I know that's an older one because it says chairman on it, and we have changed that. So it may not be, but you could take a screenshot when you see the video again, and that will, you could make your own. It's easy. Are there any other questions, Shannon, that you saw in the chat? I love the comments on the video. Yes. Skip to the agenda. No organization didn't support each other. Did you see the half-eaten donuts on the table? I thought that was gross.
There were a couple of questions about us posting this orientation. So I'm going to try and get it on Whova. And then Mariah had said that it's going to be on the Zonta International website. And then you had a participant asking if they could use this in area for asking for permission to use this material for their own meeting.
If any material presented would help you or help your club, of course it's able to be shared. This presentation was geared to presidents, so it may or may not be helpful to the entire club, but we will share with you the link to the club meeting so that you can translate it to your own language, and same thing with the president's overview of the website. Nita, did you have a question?
First of all, I want to say congratulations. This was wonderful.
Thank you very
I
much.
learned from District 4 Treasurer that just because you think you know it all, you might not. And I am going to recommend to our incoming area director and to our incoming lieutenant governor who oversees membership that they share this video in a meeting, not just tell their members or the presidents where it is, but when you have a president's meeting, share it so that everybody sees the information, because there is some really good stuff here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's a great suggestion. So the suggestion is that area directors, when they have their clubs together, share this video, and then you can talk about it. So that's terrific. Yeah, that's a good suggestion. Any other questions before we say goodbye for now?
See you in Australia.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah, just a quick show of hands who we might see in Australia. Oh, yes. Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'd really love to see all of you. And of course, I will say hi, but oh, beautiful. I can see quite a few hands. Lovely.
I have one more question.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is there any list of all the clubs international to find and with the members?
Not a publicly listed one. However, we do have a wonderful directory that you can search by country.
Where can I find this, the directory?
It is located on the members only section of the website under My Zonta.
Under My Zonta?
Directory, and then you search by the country, and if you start large by the country, it can funnel down. Yes.
And are there the other presidents also?
You can also search club presidents that way as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you
I just
very much.
placed the link in the chat for everyone.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wonderful. Thank you, Mariah. I can see Gwen has her hand up.
Thank you.
Gwen, did you have a question?
Okay.
Okay, if you think about the questions after you have left this program, then please use that directory and find Ansmarie, myself, or even go to member records and send your questions in. We will be happy to respond to you. So once again, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you. Thank
stepping
you
up.
so much. And thank you also for your lovely feedback. I've been enjoying reading the chats, and it's really wonderful. And I'm so excited to have so many, or more than 50 new club presidents, 57 club presidents online. It was just showing your genuine desire to build club success.
Yes. And I want to give a special shout out to my right hand in the membership committee, Ansmarie Van Erb from District 22 in Australia. We are coming to your country.
Yes, I look forward to welcoming you.
We will
all.
see you
Thank
there.
you. Thank you so much, Teresa, for being the architect of this session. Thank you.
My pleasure. And thank you to the headquarters staff. Couldn't do it without you. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye. Bye.